Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to our English class. I hope everyone is all doing well. And of course, especially, I hope you all are ready for another session this evening. Now, in this session, you are going to learn another or new topic, which will be about McDonald's vocabulary. So there will be 25 essential words about the world's most famous fast food restaurant, McDonald's. But before that, let me just check if the comment section is all doing good. Okay, all good. Okay, it's doing good. It's okay. So if you have any kind of responses, may it be a question, maybe just an answer or a comment about something, feel free to comment it in our chat box. Okay? I will constantly check it so that I will not miss any kind of responses that you will be having. All right? So before everything else, um let's do a quick breathing exercise so as to really prepare yourself for the session or for the topic discussion this evening. It will be very simple. You're just going to inhale and let it out after. Okay? On my cue, inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Okay, all good? I hope everybody is doing well. Let me do a quick check on the stream if my audio is working well. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Ah, yeah, that's why. Okay. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to really notice this immediately. My mic was turned off. So thank you still for understanding. Thankfully, I was able to notice it I was able to notice it a few minutes while I'm talking. So, okay. Again, our topic. Let me just go and start over with my discussion. So, yeah, for this evening, we are opening the door to a topic that everyone in this room knows, but few truly understand, which is on McDonald's. Okay, whether you call it Macca's, McDo, or even called as the Golden Arches, McDonald's is more than just a place to buy a burger. It is a symbol of the modern world. It is the story of how two brothers with a small dream changed the way the entire planet eats. It is a masterclass in how to take a lively idea and turn it into a vital service for millions of people across every continent. Think about this. You can walk into a McDonald's in the middle of a busy city or at a lonely gas station in the desert and the experience will feel familiar. It feels the same. Well, this is not an accident, no, or coincidental. McDonald's succeeded because they mastered the art of the system itself. They realized that if they could make a complete set of rules for cooking, for cleaning, and especially for serving, they could guarantee the same quality every single time. So there is consistency. In the early days, the McDonald brothers looked at their kitchen not as a room for cooking, but as a factory for food. They called it the speedy service system. Before this, restaurants were slow. You really had to wait for your food. But the brothers changed that. They created a busy environment where every second was planned. One person loaded the buns, one person added the sauce, one person wrapped the burger, so it was a circulatory system of food production that worked with the precision of a high tech pipeline. Later, a man named Ray Kroc saw this and realized its potential. He didn't just want one successful restaurant, he wanted the thousands of them. So he focused a concept called standardization. This means that the training a crew member receives in one country is almost identical to the training they receive in another country. So, this complete set of standards is why the brand is trusted by billions because of its consistency. So, for us, as English learners, studying McDonald's is incredibly useful. Why? Because the language of McDonald's is the language of efficiency. In a high pressure environment like a drive through, you don't have time for long, complicated sentences. You need to be clear, to be direct, and fast. And by studying this system, we are learning how to communicate in a professional, fast paced world. So, in this session or in this lesson, we're going to go behind the counter. We're going to look at the supply chain, that brings the ingredients to the store. We will explore the restaurant hierarchy from the new employee just starting out to the manager running the entire operation. We will even look at how they manage safety and quality, much like how a blowout preventer manages pressure in high stakes industry, which was discussed last few meetings about the oil and gas vocabulary. So, yeah, McDonald's is a world of its own. It is a place of speed, technology, and especially global connection. So, um, with this in mind, are are all of you ready to find out how the most famous kitchen in the world actually works? Are or are you ready to learn 25 essential words about the world's most famous fast food restaurant, McDonald's? Okay, I hope everybody is ready. All right. So, again, you are expected to learn 25 essential words in total. Let's start with the first word. Okay. Now, our first word here is apple pie. So, the first item in our specialized McDonald's unit is the world famous apple pie. While it might seem like a simple dessert, it is masterclass in food engineering and temperature control. Let me just zoom it in so that you can really see, okay, the definition. Let me just go over and check where I can. Okay, all good. For a moment, let me zoom it in and fit it so you can really see its definition. Okay, all good. Now, continuing, this is our first term, apple pie. Now, at McDonald's, the apple pie is defined as a warm, crispy pastry filled with a sweet cinnamon apple filling. So, yeah, it is a delicious dessert that has remained a staple of the global menu for decades. Now, when it comes to standardization, just like the production of petrol, every pie is created to meet exact standards of quality, service, and cleanliness. So the pies are kept in specialized warming cabinets to ensure that they are served at the perfect temperature. And the signature lattes or bubbly crust is designed to provide a specific crunch that customers expect worldwide. So that's the texture of the apple pie, which of course add which of course will add to its to its selling point. Now, when it comes to the production line process, in the busy environment of the kitchen, preparing these desserts follow a strict set of rules, much like um, the 24/7 operation of an oil rig. So, the holding time, once a pie is baked, it has a specific holding time or expiration time. If it is not sold within that window, it must be discarded to maintain quality. Now, the packaging, each pie is served in a protective cardboard sleeve. This sleeve has a vital service. It keeps the pie warm and protects the customer's hands from the hot filling. And of course, we try to really prioritize the safety. The pie sleeves often feature warnings about the hot temperature of the fruit filling. So, of course, yes, it's good. When it comes to food, hot food is always good. But of course, it can be painful, or it can be a danger to our safety, considering that if you try to eat the apple pie, the filling itself is hot, no? So the outside is hot, and the filling or apple filling inside is much hotter compared to the outside. So with that in mind, we try to really check before we try to immediately just go and eat the apple pie, because of course we don't know if it's too hot, it might burn our tongue. Okay? Now, while the apple pie is a complete set of item, it changes based on where the restaurant is located. In some countries, the pie is baked to be healthier, while in others, it is fried for a crispier texture. And depending on the region, McDonald's may offer local variations like taro, corn, or chocolate pies alongside the classic apple pie. So the filling contains specific types of apples that are chosen because they do not break down too much when heated, similar to how natural gas is composed. um, and of course, understanding the apple pie teaches you about quality control in a professional environment. It is not enough to make food; it must be made to a specific standard every single time, so that customer expectations is always met. So a customer expects the same sweet cinnamon flavor, whether they are at a local restaurant or at maybe a remote gas station. So the crew must manage the inventory of pies so that one is always ready when a customer orders a value meal or a combo. Okay? So that is again the apple pie. Again, apple pie is a warm, crispy pastry filled with sweet cinnamon apple filling, a delicious dessert. Okay? Now that we have covered the warm and crispy apple pie, we move to the most legendary item in the menu, the Big Mac. Okay, let me so Let me adjust PPT. Okay, all good. The presentation is all good. Anyway, we are going to move on to one of the most legendary item on the menu of McDonald's, which is the Big Mac. So this burger is so famous that it has its own jingle and is used by economists to measure the value of money around the world. So the Big Mac, an iconic order. Now here, the Big Mac is defined as an iconic double-decker burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions, and a sesame bun. So yes, it features two beef patties. It has a special sauce, all those ingredients inside a bun that is full of sesame. So the double decker build of this Big Mac, unlike a standard cheeseburger, the Big Mac uses three pieces of bread to create two levels of meat and toppings. And this special sauce, this tangy, creamy sauce, is a secret to the Big Mac's unique taste. It is what makes the burger famous worldwide. And whether you are in a quiet town or a busy environment, like a city center, every Big Mac is built the exact same way to ensure it meets the company's high standards. Consistency, basically. Okay. Now, in the kitchen, building a Big Mac is like a complete set of precise movements, similar to how a roughneck handles equipment on a drill door. So the three-part bun, we have the bottom, which is we call it a heel, the middle is the club, and the top is the crown. These buns is toasted or are toasted until golden brown. And then a worker applies a precise amount of special sauce, followed by onions, lettuce, cheese, and pickles. So, two 100% beef patties are seasoned and grilled. Because they are thin, they cook very quickly to provide vital service to hungry customers. And the top bun is placed on last, and the burger is carefully boxed. So, the Big Mac here, as you can see on the picture, it is more than just a food. It is a global benchmark, especially for McDonald's, because this burger is sold in almost every country with the same ingredients. So experts use it to compare the cost of living in different nations because again, it's the same for every country. And then to make millions of Big Macs, McDonald's manages a massive pipeline of ingredients from lettuce farms to beef processing plants. And then the kitchen team, of course, uses strict temperature checks to ensure every burger is safe to eat. So there's always safety aside from quality. So that is Big Mac. Okay. Now we shall move on to breakfast. Okay. Now breakfast is a general word. Now here it is defined as the first meal of the day, usually eaten in the morning. McDonald's serves breakfast until 10:30 a.m. Okay. So breakfast, this is not just a meal. It is a high-speed logistical operation that takes place in a very short window of time. So breakfast is defined as the first meal of the day, typically eaten in the morning. So at McDonald's, this is a highly specialized time of a day with a strict cut-off. Breakfast is served until 10:30 a.m. only. So at 10:30 a.m., the restaurant undergoes a complete set of changes to switch from morning items to the lunch menu. So the grills are cleaned and of course the ingredients are swapped in a matter of minutes. So the breakfast menu focuses on different ingredients than the lunch menu such as eggs, sausage, and even English muffins. And because many customers are on their way to work, the busy environment of the morning is even faster than lunch. Speed is the most important factor for a successful breakfast shift. So, just just looking at the workers, the McDonald's opening crew has specific tasks to ensure a smooth morning um of the fast food chain of the fast food um, of the fast food branch. Now, this crew member arrives early, often at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., just to turn on the equipment, prepare the coffee, bake the first batch of biscuits. Unlike lunch burgers, breakfast eggs are often cracked fresh. So, this requires a dedicated worker who manages the heat of the specialized egg rings. And coffee is a vital service during the breakfast hours. The crew must ensure that the coffee is always fresh and never older than 30 minutes. So, yes, there are a lot of things that you need to consider through this window of time, no? Until 10:30 a.m. Now, the drive-through here is the busiest part of the breakfast operation. It acts like a high-speed pipeline moving customers through as quickly as possible. So most stores aim for a total experience time of under 90 seconds per car during the morning rush. In some busy locations, the drive-through can handle over 100 cars in a single hour. And because people are in a rush to get to work, an error in the order can cause a major gusher of complaints and delays. So, from a professional perspective, breakfast is one of the most profitable times for the company. Items like coffee and hash browns have a lower cost to produce but are very popular. So, if a customer has a good breakfast experience, they're more likely to return for lunch or a Big Mac later in the week. So, just as a platform must be maintained at sea, the breakfast equipment must be calibrated daily to ensure the eggs are cooked perfectly and the muffins are toasted just right. Okay, so that is the breakfast. Next, we move on to cheeseburger. Cheeseburger here is our fourth term. Now, a cheeseburger is defined as a classic uh, beef patty with melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and mustard in a toasted bun. So notice the specific ingredients here. Every single item in the list has a job. We have the pickles and onions provide a crunch and acidity to cut through the richness of the meat. We also have the melted cheese, which acts as a glue that holds the patty to the bun. And then the ketchup and the mustard provides the signature tangy flavor that children and adults love. In our previous lessons, we talked about how a platform at sea has to be built with exact materials to survive the ocean. The cheeseburger is the same. In what way? If you change the mustard to mayo or if you use a different type of onion, it is no longer a McDonald's cheeseburger. The system depends on these exact ingredients being used every time, in every store, forever. So now let's talk about the back of a house, the kitchen. The cheeseburger is the fastest item to prepare in the entire restaurant. When an order for a cheeseburger comes in, the crew moves into action like a professional team. The bun is dropped into a high-speed toaster for exactly 17 seconds, and then the dress starts. One shot of mustard, one shot of ketchup, 5 grams of onions, one pickle slice, placed exactly in the center. So the cheese is placed. Because the patty is hot, the cheese melts instantly. So this process is a complete set of movements. Okay? A skilled McDonald's worker knows exactly where the ketchup trigger is without looking. This muscle memory is what allows a restaurant to serve 100 cheeseburgers in an hour during a busy environment rush. So, from a business perspective, the cheeseburger is a volume driver. In what way? Because it is affordable, it brings people into the restaurant. Once they are at the counter, the worker provides a vital service by asking, would you like to make that a meal? So, this is how a small cheeseburger turns into a high profit sale with fries and a drink. It is also a tool for training. Um, of course, just like Roustabal, the entry level worker for oil and gas um, production, we start by learning how to dress a cheeseburger. It is the basic training of the food industry. If you can master the speed and accuracy of the cheeseburger, you can be promoted to the more complex Big Mac station or even become a crew trainer. So, finally, class, think about the global reach of this simple sandwich, you know, um, just as any standardized legal requirement across the world, the build of a cheeseburger is a standardized culinary requirement. Whether you are in a high-tech city of a remote roadside of stop, that yellow square of cheese and that single pickle represent a promise. It is a promise of consistency. In a world that is always changing, people find comfort in things that stay the same. So the McDonald's cheeseburger hasn't changed its basic recipe in over 50 years. That is not laziness. That is brilliant brand management. They have created a complete set of flavors that the human brain recognizes as safe and reliable. So that is our cheeseburger. Okay. So far, how many words or terms have we discussed? We started with, of course, we started with the apple pie, which is again a warm, crispy pastry filled with sweet cinnamon apple filling, a delicious dessert. Next, we move on to the Big Mac. A Big Mac is the iconic double decker burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions, and a sesame bun. Next, we have breakfast. Breakfast is the first meal of the day, usually eaten in the morning. McDonald's serves breakfast until 10:30 a.m. Next, cheeseburger. A classic beef patty with melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and a mustard on a bun. So that was the last term that we defined. Do we have any questions so far? Let me just check the comment section. I guess not. Again, reminder to all, you can always use our chat box for any kind of responses that you want to share. Say, for example, a question on the topic. I will gladly answer that, or maybe just an answer or a comment on the discussion. Okay? I am always checking on the comment section so that if there is a comment, I can always immediately acknowledge it. Okay? All right. Now, before we move on, we're already done with the first half. Let's have a 5 minute break before we continue. So we are going to continue at 6:35 p.m. So see you then. I'm gonna turn off my camera for the meantime as well as the presentation. Okay? Again, we are going to be back by 6:35 p.m. Okay, hello, we're back. It's already 6:35 p.m. I hope also everybody is back from whatever business that you have. Say, for example, drinking water or maybe a biological break. Now, again, everyone, welcome back to our class. We are going to continue with another um, set of vocabulary for McDonald's. Okay, before that, let's do a quick breathing exercise. On my cue, inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Okay, let's start immediately with the next term. We have here, ooh, we have chicken nuggets. Okay, now chicken nuggets, we have already discussed some few words. So, chicken nuggets is defined as bite sized pieces of breaded chicken served with delicious dipping sauces. Now, at McDonald's, these are more than just a snack. So, they are a masterpiece of food technology and a core part of the speedy service system that we have been studying or talking. By looking at how these bite sized pieces of breaded chicken are made and sold, we can learn a lot about how a global business maintains quality and handles massive numbers of customers every single day. If we look at our definition, that one highlighted, this sounds simple, but the system behind them is very complex. In a busy environment like McDonald's kitchen, the crew must manage these nuggets with extreme precision to make sure that they are always hot and crispy for the customer. Unlike a burger that is made to order, nuggets are often prepared in larger batches using high tech fryers that maintain a perfect steady temperature. And this is very similar to how professional equipment in other industries must be calibrated to ensure safety and performance. One of the most interesting things about chicken nuggets is their standardization. Did you know that McDonald's nuggets come in for specific shapes? They are called the ball, the boot, the bow tie, and even the bell. This is not just for fun. Having specific shapes ensures that every nugget cooks at the exact same speed. If one nugget was much thicker than the others, it might be cold in the middle while the others are burnt. So, by making them all roughly the same size and shape, the company ensures that every bite is safe and high quality. This is the complete set of standards that we talk about when we discuss why people trust global brands. So, the process of serving nuggets also introduces us to the concept of add ons or options. So when a customer orders chicken nuggets, the crew member must immediately ask a follow-up question, like which dipping sauce would you like? And of course, this is a vital service in the communication chain. McDonald's offers a variety of sauces from barbecue and sweet and sour to honey mustard. For you as English learner, this is a great way to practice choice vocabulary. You aren't just ordering chicken here, you're making a series of small decisions that customize your meal depending on your preference. So we should look at how nuggets are packaged and sold. They come in specific quantities actually, usually 4, 6, 10, or even 20 pieces per box. So this helps kitchen staff keep track of inventory in a restaurant that serves thousands of people. You cannot just guess how much chicken you need. So the manager uses data to predict how many boxes of nuggets will be sold during the lunch rush. And this type of planning is exactly what happens in major industrial operations where every resource must be accounted for to prevent waste. So when you're at the drive-through, nuggets are a high-speed item because of course they are easy to eat while traveling. And aside from that, they are incredibly popular for people on the go. So the crew at the window must work like well-oiled machine to get that box and those sauces in the bag in seconds. If the worker forgets the sauce, the customer experience is ruined. This is why every step of the pipeline from the fryer to the bag is monitored and timed. And finally, think about the cultural impact. Chicken nuggets are a favorite for children and adults alike, so they represent the idea of convenience. In our modern world, people are busier than ever, and a vital service like a quick hot meal is something they're willing to pay for. And as you practice your English, I want you to imagine you are a crew member. You are in a lively, loud kitchen. You hear the beep of the fryer. You have a customer at the counter and three cars in the drive through. You need to be clear with your instruction or your questions. You need to be fast. You need to say, 10-piece nugget meal with barbecue sauce. Will there be anything else today? Okay, something like that. Okay, so that is chicken nuggets. Now we shall move on to the next term. We have Coke. Okay, so at McDonald's, Coca Cola is the most popular soft drink served ice cold to millions of customers every single day. So we are going to move on to a beverage since we're already talking about food earlier. While it might seem like a simple part of a meal, the way McDonald's manages this beverage is a master class in specialized, engineering, logistical precision, and even high quality standards. When you walk into a McDonald's, you are not just getting a soda from a machine. You are participating in a massive global partnership. The relationship between McDonald's and Coca Cola is unique in the business world. They have a deep professional bond that ensures the drink tastes exactly the same in every single restaurant. Whether you are in a quiet town or a very busy environment, to achieve this, McDonald's does not use standard soda fountains like other restaurants. Instead, they use a highly engineered system that is kept at a constant chilled temperature. So the science behind the McDonald's Coke is fascinating. The syrup and the water are cooled separately in a specialized circulatory system before they ever meet in the dispenser. Most restaurants allow the syrup to sit at a room temperature, but at McDonald's, it is kept cold from the moment it leaves the delivery truck. And this level of detail is necessary to maintain a fresh and lively experience for every customer. And by keeping everything cold, the carbonation, those little bubbles that give the drink its fizz, this stays inside the liquid much longer. And this makes the drink taste crispier and more refreshing than a soda you might get anywhere else. So, in the restaurant, the crew member at the drink station has a vital responsibility. They aren't just filling a cup, they are at the final stage of a quality control process. And they must ensure that the carbonation is perfect and that the ice levels are exactly right. So, yeah, McDonald's even uses a specific size of straw that is slightly wider than a normal straw. And this allows more of the cold Coke to hit your taste buds at once, which actually enhances the flavor of the drink. So if the drink system is not maintained correctly, or if the ice machine is not working, it affects the entire meal experience. A meal without a perfectly cold drink feels unfinished and does not meet the professional standard expected by the brand. So the crew must monitor the system constantly to ensure that every cup filled is a high quality product. And also, we need to consider the final stages of the customer experience. The way a drink is packaged and handed over is the final seal of a successful order. The worker must ensure the lid is secure. We call this snapping the lid, and a straw is provided. So this prevents leaks and ensures that the meal is delivered without any messy accidents. So for you as a learner, mastering the language of the drink order is a great way to practice speed and clarity. You will often hear a worker say or ask, "What size drink would you like?" or "Would you like to try a large Coke today?" And these are professional scripts designed to move customers through the line as fast as possible. So you can think about a global reach of this item, whether a worker is in an international airport or a local neighborhood branch. A cold Coke is a universal sign of consistency. And by understanding the systems that keep this drink ice cold and carbonated, you're learning how a global leader manages millions of tiny details to create one perfect result. The complete set of steps from chilling the syrup to snapping on the lid is what defines a world class service operation. Okay, so that is the Coke, no? A beverage, a cold, and of course, a cold and iconic beverage. Now we shall move on with counter. Okay, so we are not focusing on food here. Now, as we see in our documentation, the counter is defined as the long desk where you place your order with stuff and pick up your food when it's ready. While it may look like a simple piece of, you know, furniture, the counter is actually a high pressure interface, a sophisticated boundary between the customer's expectations and the kitchen's execution. When you step up to the counter, you're entering a zone of high speed communication and industrial efficiency. This is where the front of house team operates, and it is the primary stage for what we call the moment of truth, especially in hospitality. The person you meet at the counter is usually a crew member, and their role is to act as the professional face of the global brand. So they must be friendly, they must be efficient, extremely clear in their speech. And because the McDonald's counter can be very loud and lively environment, the staff are trained to use specific professional scripts to ensure that every order is processed with 100% accuracy. So the counter is strategically divided into two critical reasons: the ordering point and the pickup point. So this is not a random layout, it is a masterclass in spatial engineering and customer psychology. At the ordering point, you will find the cash register of the POS, which stands for point of sale system. Here, the worker enters your choices into a digital interface that immediately transmits the data back to the house. So this ensures that the production of your meal starts the very second you finish speaking. There is no wasted time, no walking back and forth to deliver paper tickets. It is a digital pipeline of information. So once you have completed your payment, the system directs you to move laterally to the pickup point. This physical separation is vital for maintaining flow, and by moving customers away from the registers, the restaurant prevents bottlenecks or crowded clusters from forming in one spot. And of course, this allows a continuous stream of new customers to reach the registers while those waiting for their food have a dedicated space to stand. It is a circulatory system, no, designed to move people through the building as smoothly as a well-managed logistics network. Now, in recent years, the counter has evolved to include new technologies such as large touchscreen monitors known as kiosks. However, the physical counter remains the heart of the restaurant for many. It is a vital service area for people who prefer the human touch, those who need to pay with cash, or customers who have specific questions about the ingredients. For an English learner, the counter is the ultimate practice ground for face to face conversation. You must be prepared to listen to and, of course, answer probing questions or suggestive sells. You might hear a worker ask, "Would you like to try our warm, crispy apple pie today? Or is that for here or to go?" These are not just casual questions, they're part of a professional script designed to enhance the customer's meal and maximize the efficiency of the store. So we must also consider the clean counter policy. In a professional service environment, the counter must be kept spotless at all times. It is a symbol of the restaurant's commitment to quality and hygiene. A cluttered or dirty counter suggests a disorganized kitchen, which can, damage the brand's reputation instantly. Therefore, the crew members are taught to clean as they go, ensuring that every customer is greeted by a pristine workspace. And this attention to detail is what separates a world class operation from a standard one. Every single interaction at the counter is monitored and timed by management. There are sensors and software systems that track service time, the duration from the movement a customer reaches the desk to the moment they walk away with their tray. This data is reviewed daily to help the restaurant improve its speed and ensure that every customer receives the fast, reliable service that the Golden Arches are known for. The counter is not just a piece of wood or plastic, it is a high performance station of accuracy, hospitality, and even data collection. So when you look at the counter, you should see the culmination of decades of research into human behavior. The height of the counter, the placement of the straw dispensers, and the angle of the menu boards are all designed to make the process as intuitive as possible. So for the worker, it is a station that requires multitasking. No, you do quick mental math. There's a high level of emotional intelligence that you also need. So you're not just taking an order here, you're managing a relationship in under 60 seconds. So, yes, every word you speak at the counter is a link in a global chain of service. Now, take a moment to look at the layout of the counter area and diagrams provided. Observe how the space is used to direct movement. Of course, are you ready to step behind a desk and practice the professional scripts required to manage a lunch rush? Or we are going to move on to the last word. Anyway, time is running. So, of course, we're going to move on to the last word for the day, which is cup. A very basic and simple term that we have here. Now, as we see here, the cup is defined as a paper or a plastic container for holding your drink, comes in small, medium, and large sizes. While it may seem like a simple object, the design, the inventory management, and especially the functional use of the cup are critical to the efficiency of the entire restaurant system. The cup is the primary vessel for delivering our world famous beverages, okay, such as our ice cold Coke to the customer in a high volume restaurant. The cup must be durable. It should be or it must be easy to stack. And of course, it must be designed for speed. McDonald's uses two main types of cups, paper and plastic. Paper cups are typically used for hot beverages like coffee or for standard cold drinks in many regions, while clear plastic cups are often reserved for specialty items like McCafe, iced coffees, or any other kind of beverages. So this physical distinction helps the the crew member, quickly identify which drink is which during a busy rush, which prevents errors before they reach the customer. Okay. Inventory management of these containers is a massive logistical task. Think about the scale. A single busy restaurant can go through thousands of cups in a single day. If a store runs out of large cups, it disrupts the entire system, a complete set of the value meal system, and managers must use predictive data to ensure that they have a constant supply pipeline of every size. And this is why you will see organized stacks of cups right next to the beverage stations. They are placed within strike zone reach of the worker to minimize movement and of course maximize their speed. So the sizing of the cups mentioned here, we have the small, medium, and large sizes. It is a key element of the suggestive sales script we practiced at the counter. When you order a meal, the worker is trained to ask, would you like to have a large size for that? This question is designed to move the customer toward a higher capacity cup, which offers more value to the customer and more efficiency for the business. So for you, understanding these sizes is vital for accurate ordering. You must be clear about which size you want to avoid any kind of confusion at the pickup point. And also, we also have to discuss the engineering of the cup's rim and the lid. The cup is designed with a specific rolled rim that allows the plastic lid to snap into place securely. And this is, as we discussed with our hot items like the apple pie, managing temperature and preventing spills is a top priority. A lid that does not fit perfectly could lead to a messy accident, especially in the drive through where customers are handling their drinks inside a moving vehicle. So the crew member must check that every lid here is seated properly before handing the cup over. Okay? For safety. Now, from an environmental perspective, the cup has also become a symbol of the brand's commitment to sustainability. Many regions have moved toward using paper cups made from certified sustainable forests or have removed plastic straws in using paper cups made from certified sustainable forest or have removed the plastic straws in favor of sippy lids. So this transition requires a complete set of new training for the staff and clear communication with the customers who might not be paying, use paying attention properly for this one. So again, the cup is not just a container. It is a reflection of the company's global standards and its ability to adapt to new regulations. Finally, the cup serves as a canvas for the brand's identity. The bold colors and the iconic golden arches logo on the side of the cup makes it a walking advertisement. When a customer carries a McDonald's cup down the street, they are signaling for everyone for okay. So they're signaling for to everyone else that they have participated in this global system. So for the worker, the cup is the final piece of the puzzle. Once the drink is poured, the lid is snapped. Okay. And of course, the straw is provided, the transaction is complete, which we all want. So as we move forward, I want you to pay attention to the ergonomics of the beverage station. Notice how the cups are angled for easy grabbing. Everything is designed to save a fraction of a second. In our next practice session, we'll stimulate the high-speed beverage order. Okay, so yeah, simulate. It's basically a role play. If you try to look at it very simply, everything is really designed to save a fraction of a second. Of course, notice how the cups are angled for easy grabbing. So in our next practice session, we will simulate a high-speed beverage order. You will need to select the correct cup size. Okay, cup size. I'm sorry, correct cup size. So you try to fill it to the proper level and secure the lid, all while maintaining professional conversation with your customer. So yeah, that is a cup. And those are different terms that we are going to talk for the first session. We started with, okay, here. We started with apple pie. Let me read the definition. A warm, crispy pastry filled with sweet cinnamon apple filling, a delicious dessert. Next, we have the Big Mac. A Big Mac is the iconic double decker burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions, and a sesame bun. Next, we have the first and meal of the day, usually eaten in the morning. McDonald's serves breakfast until 10:30 a.m. Next, cheeseburger. So this is a classic beef patty with melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup on a bun. Next, we have the chicken nuggets. These are bite-sized pieces of breaded chicken, served with a delicious dipping sauce. Next is the Coca-Cola or the Coke, the world's most popular soft drink, served ice cold at the McDonald's. Next, we have the counter, the long desk where you place your order with stuff and pick up your food when it's ready. And the last term for this evening, cup, a paper or plastic container for holding your hands, holding hands, holding your drink comes in small, medium, and large sizes. So those are different terms for the first session. We're not going to finish with all the 25 essential terms pertaining to McDonald's because it might be overwhelming if I will tackle on it in one go, all 25 words. Okay? So for this evening, we have tackled 8 words in total. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So there are 8 terms in total for this evening. Do we have any questions? Are there any questions? Now, for the remaining sessions for this week, we are going to continue with this topic, McDonald's vocabulary. There are still how many? There are still 17, if I'm not mistaken, 17 words in total that needs to be discussed. Okay, so I guess that is all for this evening. I hope you've learned something. Let me just quickly check on the chat box. Okay, no questions, I guess. No questions asked or no answers provided or any clarifications. I guess none. So again, that is all for today. I hope to see you next meeting. Goodbye, everyone, and good evening.